Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, thank you so much. I'm so glad each and every one of you are here. I have a special guest with me here today, my husband Dion.
How's everybody doing?
A few months ago, we did a not so newlywed game, and if you have not seen that yet, I will link that right above here, and you can go check that out after you're finished with this video.
Well, she can't talk today. Today we're going to be doing a marriage Q&A. A few weeks back or a couple months back, she posted some questions on Facebook asking friends and family a couple of questions they wanted to know about marriage. Today we're going to have those questions for you. You are unfiltered answers. Matter of fact, I hadn't really looked at the questions that we're going to be asked. So today you're going to get an unfiltered look into kind of what marriage is to me and Lannie. Once again, this is my opinion, this is her opinion. Take it how you will. We just hope it'll help somebody going forward.
I guess you can take over the channel now since you did so well.
So we're about to jump into this thing. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, click subscribe, like the video, and help my beautiful wife bump up those subscribers and those views, okay?
Yay. All right, let's get to it. All right, so question number one, and this is in no particular order. How did you meet?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Well, we met, it was New Year's Eve of 2006.
2005.
Oh, well, it was going to be 2006,
Yes.
So 2005, December 31st, 2005. We had a mutual friend and we went to a New Year's Eve party. And when I got into my friend's car, I looked in the back and saw these big old eyes, and it was her. We talked during the night a little bit, but nothing really, I guess, magical happened that time. A couple weeks later, I see her walking to the BX, and we both lived on base and in the dorms, so I was driving my car. I had an Audi at that time, so
His beloved Audi.
And so I pull up next to her and I ask her, does she want to ride? Does she want to ride? And she says no. And I ask her, would you rather walk than take a ride with me? And she says yes. And I don't remember where I was going or what I was doing before then, but I kind of got a little, as Drake says, in my feelings at that time. And so I followed her to the BX. And so I think she was in the CD aisle or something, and I just bumped into her. And I was like, what's up? And then we talked about something, and we went to dinner.
Yeah, we ended up going out to eat. So yeah, we were pretty much inseparable after that. So question number two, how long did you date before you got married? So we started dating in March of 2006, and then we got engaged, was it November?
No, December.
December of 2006. And then we got married June of 2007. So we only dated for a little over a year and 4 months-ish.
Year and 3 months or something.
Yeah. So it wasn't very long.
Didn't want to waste any time, Get to the honeymoon.
Oh my God. Question number three. Any more children?
For who? For us?
Yes. Any more children?
We have our son. We have our daughter. God's blessed us with 2 beautiful babies.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get a dog next, but
I
don't think we have any plans for kids, but you never know what miracles the Lord may bring.
Yeah, we're saying no, we're content with our 2. But yeah, you never say never, I guess. Question number 4, what was the hardest thing you've dealt with together as a couple?
No, so we got the easy ones out the way.
We experienced 2 miscarriages in 2010 and 2011. They were both extremely hard to deal with. The first one was difficult because, like, I've never really thought of having a miscarriage, like I think you don't ever really, you don't ever really think about that until it actually happens to you. So it definitely caught us by surprise, and we were both like, how did this happen to us?
Yeah, and I think I would agree with that. And, on her channel, she has an amazing video talking about dealing with it and, the kind of things that, women have to go through and that you don't have to struggle in silence with this kind of thing. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It fleshes out what we're talking about here, but it was difficult for her and it was difficult for me watching her deal with it because, not to be like, stereotypical, but like as a guy, she said she never thought about it. I definitely never thought about a miscarriage. And then when it happened, the first time, the doctors always tell you there's nothing you can do. There's nothing, wrong with you. It's just, it just happens sometimes. And then you start looking up stuff, reading stuff, and doing that whole self-diagnosis, which is never a good thing. And then it happened the second time, and it was just, I think the second time was the time that I took it. Yeah, and I took it hard that time because you didn't really understand what was going on. And, and then there's always difficulty trying to, talk to each other during that. And she's questioning whether she could have kids. I think something's wrong with me. I go to the doctor to get checked out. And then when we got pregnant the third time, I remember this crazy story. They called me at work and told me, that, oh, Ms. Bass, your wife's levels, HCG levels, which stands for something. We'll look it up and post it in the comments. But it's a hormone that they use to tell the growth of the fetus and kind of the hormone levels in the mom. And they said that it was low, critically low, and that, that meant to them that another miscarriage. And I think I broke down in my office. I think I had one of my staff members, we were talking about something and I took the call not knowing what it was, and she was in there and I just broke down right there. But then, like I said, miracles, God works in mysterious ways. I get a call back from the hospital and say, oh my gosh, Mr. Bass, we apologize, we're so sorry. Your wife's levels didn't drop. They're 10 times what that number was, which is higher than they normally are, which means that the baby's growing well and everything's going well. And then I lost it, started bawling, crying, and I lost it, started praising God and, thanking him, called Lannie, and we were just praying and crying on the phone. And then, several months later, here comes, Dion Jr. Yes. So you really got to see, how God puts people in your situation to help you deal with it, and how, even though it was difficult dealing with the first two, it made us stronger. Yes. It made us appreciate things, and it made us just like value the miracle that life is. Yes. Having Junior and then having Bailey.
Yes. Okay, next question. Is there truly a key to happiness in a marriage?
Happy wife, happy life.
No, happy spouse, happy house.
Oh, okay. I think, and to be, 100 with all y'all, we still argue. And I think even the best marriage, Cliff and Claire Huxtable, I guess maybe that's not the best reference now, but they argued. I guess I'm blanking on some of my 90s sitcoms. Families. But if any couple that you use an example, if you see behind the curtain or behind the closed doors, they all have difficulties. They all argue. They all have fights, disagreements. Some are big, some are little. I was telling some people the other day how when she was pregnant, a Bojangles opened up in Gainesville where we were living at the time. And she was like, I want some Bo-Berry biscuits. And I was like, okay. And in her mind, that was telling me, go get me some biscuits. And I didn't go get them the day that the store opened, because one, I was like, I got class. I was in law school at the time. And then there's gonna be a line of people just trying to go to Popeyes because, not Popeyes, Bojangles. And so I didn't get them, and I came home, and she was mad.
I was extremely upset.
Like, not just a little mad, like really mad at me. And so, of course, the next day I went and got, 6 Goldberry biscuits or whatever. But I mean, so it goes from that to having real arguments about real things, finances or how to parent the kids and whatnot. And so I guess back to the question is that there's really not one thing.
I don't think there's necessarily a specific key, but a lot of prayer and a lot of communication, and I think that's a good start.
And I think the whole key to marriage starts from the very beginning.
Yes.
When you're, dating that person, when you're getting to know that person.
If your foundation is super shaky in the dating stage, then 9 times out of 10 it's going to be even more shaky when you get married. So,
like some people don't cover the bases. Like, do you have a religious faith? What is it? If it's not the same, do you think that we can reconcile those differences?
How you handle money?
Yeah, finances. What's your
how
credit
you
score?
parent?
Ask them.
Yeah.
I think the big thing, it starts in the beginning. I mean, just communicating and getting to know that person.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Women are natural-born debaters. How does that impact marriage? And in your case, my case, being married to a trained debater. I don't necessarily think that I'm a debater. I'm more of the opposite. I'm very much so. I don't like confrontation at all, and that can be a good thing and a bad thing because I shy away from like tough disagreements, I guess, if you want to call it that. And that's not a good thing because when you do have those disagreements, you need to talk it out. You don't need to walk away from it or just ignore it. So that's not a good thing. But I'm not really that type of person that has to like debate everything. Like that's this guy. Like even before he was a trained debater, he's been like that forever. So I'm kind of the opposite. But now I must say, being married to him, I have learned how to communicate more efficiently. I don't shy away from disagreements as much anymore. I am more open to talking things out and talking things through to come up with a solution. And if we don't come up with a solution, then we can agree to disagree and just move on from that point.
I think the one thing you need to do with that is, lay ground rules, fight fair, as they say, and just, pick your battles, I guess.
Yes, pick and choose your battles, because not everything is worth debating over.
Don't let little things get big, and then when it is the big things, remember, you trying to work something out with the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Treat them as such.
Right.
Those are babies in the background.
Yes.
This video is all one take. We're going to be editing it, just so you know, because when you have kids, you can't always find the time to sit down and do 2 hours worth of videos.
Next question. What do you most admire about your spouse? I'll go first. I very much admire I admire his tenacity. Like when he wants something, he goes full force until he gets it. I remember when he was getting his bachelor's degree, and he switched his major, and he was like, I'm gonna go for criminal justice because I want to be a lawyer. He was like, what do you think about that? And I'm like, go for it. And that's all I said, and he went for it. He finished his bachelor's. A year after he finished his bachelor's, he signed up for law school. He got into school and he finished in those 3 years, and he's been now practicing for a little over a year. And I admire that about him. He is so smart. Like that was the one thing that kind of was very attractive.
Really?
I was like, oh my gosh, he is super smart. Like we used to watch Jeopardy together, even before we were dating. We used to watch Jeopardy together, and he was like, he would know almost all the questions. I'm like, how do you even know that? Like, that's so weird and random. But I just admire how smart he is and how tenacious he is. Two characteristics that I most admire about him.
Thank you, baby. For me, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know how much time we got. One of the things, and this might sound a little bit weird, but I just have to explain it, is that Lannie has a spirit that just welcomed people, that people felt welcoming, and people wanted to come to her, talk to her. Random people, like strangers, complete strangers, will come and tell Lannie, and those are our kids in the background again, they're okay.
Sorry,
I
y'all.
promise they're okay. They're right in the other room, right? But people would come up to her and tell her, like, their life stories, what they wanted, their aspirations, their fears. And I'm not saying like once every now and then, like literally, like on a regular basis this happened. We went and got furniture for the house. We just moved into a new house, and the lady was telling her about, you know, her son, and you know what she wants to do with her career, and you know the things that some of the troubles that she went through. And my wife is gracious and kind, and she sits and listens. Not just not to be rude, because she actually really cares. And I think that caring nature is something that that I love. It's just amazing to see how other people look at her and find her to be someone that they want to emulate, or they want to just tell their lives to, because that means that she has a level of trust with people, even complete strangers, that says that something about you says that you could care for me if I just talk to you. And I remember when we first met, I was thinking like, this girl is so green, and green means like she just didn't know anything. I mean, didn't know the mail came on, all day.
You would never let me live that down. That was 12 years ago.
I was like, baby, it was like Friday. I was like, baby, go check the mail. She's like, the mail ain't come today. I was like, what do you mean the mail ain't come today? It ain't a holiday. She's like, the mail don't come every day, boy. I was like, girl, what are you talking about? It come every day but Sunday. It comes Sunday now, so it come every day. But anyways.
Oh my God.
But to me, that was so cute. It was so cute, but she just has this like this loving nature. Like, just takes care of people, takes care of me, and she wants to be that. Some people have, people say, oh, you're X, Y, and Z, and people are like, well, that's not really me. But like, people say, Lannie, you're loving, you're caring, and that is her through and through. I mean, she takes care of the household, takes care of our kids, takes care of me, and I couldn't, ask for anything more.
What word of advice would you give other couples? So I have a lot of friends that are newly engaged, that are getting married. When the infatuation stage dissipates, that doesn't mean that you're not in love anymore. A lot of people, when they get married, they're quickly surprised that sometimes they're not going to like their spouse. And that doesn't mean that we're not in love with each other anymore. That doesn't mean that we should not be together anymore. That just means we don't like each other at that time. Feelings are fickle in a relationship, so don't confuse your feelings with if you're in love or not in love with that person anymore, if that makes sense.
No, I think it makes sense. And I would say is that, and it goes along with that, is that marriage is not a one-size-fit-all type of thing. You shouldn't try to keep up with the Joneses. You shouldn't look at someone else's marriage and say, that's what our marriage should be. I want you to be like that wife. I want you to be like that husband.
Please don't do that.
Because marriage is like a tailored suit. You are each the tailor, custom fitting your marriage and your relationship for one another to suit that person. You can't go off the rack, because it's not going to fit right. It may look good when it's over there. When you try to put it on, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get a little deep. When you put it on, you realize the fit is all wrong. It's tight in some places loose. It doesn't fit you.
Okay, Bishop.
The marriage process, and I say process because you're not going to get it right at year one. Year one's going to be different than year 10.
Yes.
Thank God. And then year 10 is going to be different than year 20, right? Month 1 might be different from month 2. But that's that tailoring process, suiting your marriage for you and your spouse.
That's good.
So if you try to do something else that someone else is doing just because you want that or you think that's what it should be, sometimes you'll be sadly disappointed. And so work with your spouse. Your spouse is your spouse, right, for a reason. And hopefully and prayerfully, that reason was that God led y'all together. And then from there, things will work, but you have to work at it.
Yes, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work.
Like I said, that's our take on things. We're not perfect people. We don't claim to be. We're just telling you what we feel, hoping that it will help you and yours. So everyone's situation is different, where you're at in your stage of marriage or in your relationship. Just work at it. Do what's best for you in that situation. And we just pray that everything comes out for your better, whether you're in the peak or in the valley.
So you did the same thing I did. You said peak.
Whether you're at the peak or in the valley. Because hopefully you come out that valley soon, and hopefully that peak lasts.
Yes.
But if it doesn't, remember, you can get back there if you try.
With teamwork.
Oh, hold on, we got a special treat. Pause.
So these are our little ones that were making all that noise earlier.
And so,
who is this? What's your name?
Junior.
This is Junior. This
And
is
this-
Dion.
and this is Bailey. Say hi, Bailey. Say hi.
You say hi? Oh, now you won't be quiet.
She was just making a lot of noise. But so, you know, we do this for each other, and we do this for them. So once again, we just hope it helps. Thank you for watching.
Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next video.
Hold on, like and subscribe, as
Tell them to
always.
like and subscribe, Junior.
Like and subscribe.
All right, peace.